Welcome to the 100th episode of Bringing Down the Grindhouse.
Wow!
A podcast where we discuss horror in media. And tonight, the cameras are rolling. The film crew is struggling to get things done. And there's zombies! Join us as we explore One Cut of the Dead. I'm Mitch.
I'm Murr.
I'm Justine.
And I'm Jonathan. And I cannot believe there's 100 hours of us talking on the internet.
There is.
Probably
it's
more.
well over
Yeah.
100 hours.
Well over
Yeah,
100.
well over 100. So it's like if you wanted to make a weird AI program with our personalities, you could probably do it with the 100 hours of content that we put out.
Whoa! Don't
Yeah.
tell me that.
You're welcome.
Before we get too much into stuff, we have to put a big RIP up
I know.
because something tragic happened. Kentaro Miura, artist and writer of manga Berserk, has passed away.
Yeah.
And me and Mur have been crying for at least a week now.
The influence for so many other stories and art styles.
Yeah, it's a very tragic loss, and it came at a time that was kind of weird. And they've known for like 2 weeks already, but they just announced it like just
Right.
the other day. And fans everywhere of anime or just manga in general are just devastated.
Yeah, if you've never seen his art, just Google his name and art, and you'll be blown away by how like crazy detailed the artwork is, and it's all in black and white.
If you played games like the Soul games, all the Souls
Yeah,
games,
Dark
any
Souls,
of
shit like that.
those, you're looking at a ripoff of Berserk. If you're playing like Final Fantasy 15 and you're playing the knights that have the two-handed swords, you're looking at a ripoff of Berserk. If you're looking at Cloud from Final Fantasy 7, you're looking at a ripoff of Berserk. Anyway, so that's how important this dude was, and we miss him and love him very much.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
We would also like to mention that this episode is brought to you by our patron, Isaac.
Woo,
Who
Isaac!
isn't really a patron. He handed me $2 and said, "Hey, review this movie. I really like it."
What a good choice for the 100th episode.
Honestly,
like,
though.
This is such a great comedy, parody, like meta movie about making horror films. And it's just so thoroughly enjoyable. So this is a great one to choose for this, honestly.
yeah, they told me about it initially. I believe this is on Shudder. So if you have Shudder, you could check it out. But they liked the movie so much they ordered the DVD and then bought the T-shirt.
That's how you know you
well.
actually really like it. You have the
Yeah.
DVD of it.
Yeah, One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah, so what's really great about this movie is it really goes into how these types of movies are made. It kind of gets into the nitty-gritty. Like you'll start to have this appreciation for the people that work behind them.
This is also one of those movies that has the like coveted certified 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It does.
Which is damn near impossible with how critics are these days.
Well, and we look too. There's 86 different reviews for it as well.
Yeah, to have like 80 plus reviewers all give it 100% is pretty legit, and it really earns it because this is a great parody of filmmaking and of like cliches you see in horror films.
Yeah, and it's so meta because they did several takes of like the initial scene.
Right.
Because the first cut of this movie, it's about 45 minutes uncut, one long take for the entire thing. And then they go into the meta works of how they made that work. And then there's even behind the scenes footage of how they made that work too,
Yeah.
near the end.
So you have like 3 cameramen all watching each other back to back, and then they started moving out as the movie went on. Seeing just the intro, I would have been happy with just the 45 minutes, the beginning, just because it's such a good story, and then you get more added on, and it becomes like this incredibly wholesome movie by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it had just ended at the actual movie at the beginning,
Yeah.
I would have been fine with it, but I also would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Kind of, because it's like you get so much more in that next like hour 45 minutes than with the rest of the film.
Well, I was very confused, as most people are when they first see it, because there's a lot of awkward pauses. It's just like sometimes you think it's badly acted, but you're realizing afterwards that it's all improv.
They fill in the moments of like, well, why did they pause here? Oh, it's because there was accidents happening on the fake set that they were creating.
Yeah.
Which is a hilarious concept that you're filming a live horror film with no cuts on live television, so you just can't stop.
And you guys brought it up too, like this would work if it were like a real thing, but you could probably roll with the fuck ups. And it's funny because after we saw that, we saw all the fuck ups. And it was
Oh my god.
You basically got it figured out, you know?
Figuring that out was totally worth the time to be like, well, why the fuck are they doing it this way? And then just having it be legitimately funny, like having a dude who has to shit himself.
Yeah.
And then he's just shitting in the bush. He's shitting in the bushes, and he's like, "Just do his makeup right now."
Do his makeup right now. We gotta do it.
He's like squatting, and he's like crying as he's shitting and getting makeup put onto him. It's hilarious.
Every time someone cries in this movie, it's golden.
It's so funny.
Now, see, my favorite is that old drunk guy that
Yeah.
actually pukes on everyone.
I love the older lady. She's like, "It's so real." I was like, yeah, because he actually puked on someone.
Oh, you mean
Justine.
Edna Mode, but
Yes.
elongated?
Justine, we looked it up. That dude was actually drunk on set. So he was. I was like, that's a very convincing drunk guy. It was a
'Cause he
fucking
was
drunk
actually
guy.
drunk.
How chaotic. I
Did
love
they
it.
does that mean they made a meta joke about a drunk who was a drunk on set?
Whoa.
And he was actually drunk on set?
Meta horror.
Yeah,
We're in a new
yeah,
game
exactly.
now.
It's method
Well-
acting.
Well, before we get too far in, I'm just gonna get some production notes real quick. One Cut of the Dead is also known as "Don't Stop the Camera" in Japan.
One Cut of the Dead is way better.
Yeah. It is from 2017, and it's written and directed by Shinichiro Yuta.
Has he done anything else?
I do not know.
I don't know that
personally.
either. I actually need to look that
I
up.
believe that they had some work with some of the sequels because I think they made sequels to this. Not sure
Nice.
though. The starring role we have Takayuki Hamatsu as the director, Mao as Mao,
I love
Harumi Shayuma, Yuzuki Akiyama, and Kazuki Nagaya. A lot of these characters play themselves, like they play
Yeah.
themselves in the film, which is hilarious. It was released in 2017 in November in Japan, and the budget for this was a whopping $25,000
Or 3 million yen.
or 3 million yen, and it accrued 3.12 billion yen or 31.2 million worldwide.
Damn.
So, if you heard our Sun festival, the Sundance fucking festival thing, this is one of those movies that was like, yeah, this is what it's competing against when it goes up against like What We Do in the Shadows, and is better in a lot of ways because they're both comedic horrors.
Yeah, and I would say they implement the same sort of comedy. Like, it's both dry in a sense, although I feel like One Cut of the Dead has a different twist. It's like realistic comedy.
Yeah,
Like situational kind of things.
yeah, because you watch this stuff and you think it's really awkward, and then you get the cut to why it happened this way. And all the characters in this movie, I don't think like they could have done the cast any better. Like the cast was really good for this one, and they play their roles really like well. Like the drunk, the guy who has to like shit, and he's kind of a diva, you know. He's like, I only drink soft water.
Oh my
But
god.
for a good reason, because
Yeah.
he'll shit himself.
my
if he
God.
drinks
Mineral water
anything
makes him
else.
poop.
That's pretty fucking funny, actually. That it makes him fucking poop.
The cuts in this were like, actually, in the first sequence there is no cut. So some of the shots and like the running around, you see like some camera shakes here and there. Like there's a part where the camera completely falls, and we don't know why, but then it's picked up again. And there were so many meta calls, like them falling over. I think we talked about it. Like that chick who ate shit probably really ate shit when she fucking crashed.
So, random of note about the director, he made a movie called Rice and Boobs in 2011.
What's the plot for that?
What would you choose between rice and boobs if one of these would disappear from the world forever? The most boring debate in human history starts now. It has a terrible rating.
Oh.
It looks like lightning only strikes once with the director because everything else he made is shit. He's like
Oh,
the lowest
man.
of lowest ratings for all this other stuff.
But like, that's a serious question. Rice or boobs?
Dude, that's tough.
Rice is in everything. Everything good has rice. But boobs.
Everything with rice in it is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I don't think I've ever had anything bad with rice in it.
You take rice out of the equation, and humanity will fucking kill itself.
Yeah.
I think if you take boobs out of the equation, not as chaotic or catastrophic.
You take boobs away, baby's gonna be dying. Or actually, no, we actually have
we have-
Well, we
normal.
have
Fuck them kids.
formula.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm done.
You will
yeah,
see
get
us-
rid of boobs. We don't need them. Actually, that's heresy. I can't say that. No,
That is
no,
heresy.
keep the boobies in this world. We need them.
Oh my god.
Jonathan,
Well, you said it. We have formula, so I mean,
We do have formula, yeah.
Jonathan.
We don't need them, I guess.
rice
Yeah,
or
but
boobs?
boobs, though.
What? Am I going
Right?
to keep rice or boobs?
Rice or
I'd keep the
boobs?
rice. Not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, I know you're more of an ass man.
Also, this does factor heavily into the idea that I don't care much
Wait,
for boobs
Mitch,
to
are
begin
you a
with.
boobs man?
I've always been a boob man. I'm like
Oh, that
very
makes
vocal
sense.
about
There
this.
we
That's how we
go.
know
Like I'm very vocal.
that's how we know he's a boomer.
Oh.
Low blow.
I'm a boober, not a boomer.
What a boob.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll live with that.
Real quick. So it took 2 days to do the first initial shot, and they did 6 takes for the entire thing.
Oh, God.
So they ran through this thing
That sounds
6
so
times.
fucking hard
That
to
means
do.
we spent 3 hours redoing this.
Yes.
Or whatever it. Yeah, 3 hours.
Supposedly the second time they filmed it was great, but I guess one of the cameras fucked up on recording, so they had to scrap it. And that must have been hard to deal with.
Like all the prep work that must have gone in, like initially. The movie does show that anyway, but it's sort of like it's like later on in the movie, so just even considering all of the work to set up to get everyone that coordinated, to move this camera around, to get to the next scene, to like make sure everyone knows exactly where they need to be when it's time.
Like the
Wow.
runners had to be going off.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing this because it's kind of like how live productions go, like a play or something like that. There's a lot of working parts and people moving behind the scenes. But in this case, instead of it just being like a flat stage, you're going through a whole building, so it gets much more complicated.
And the setting for this place is incredible.
Yeah, this setting is dope. They scouted a great location.
That was half the movie, man. Just finding the right spot to film it in. And then just really good camera work from whoever was holding the camera or several cameras that you were watching through. It must have been annoying to coordinate that many people around each other and not get in the shot accidentally.
The shot where they do the axe chopping scene for the head,
Great.
that was like, and you see the chick, like she grabs the fake head and the camera's about to hit her.
Yeah.
And she does the fucking roll out of shot.
Oh, my God.
So good.
What a pro.
They had a dedicated production assistant crew who were just like going to the max for this movie, and it was so fucking good.
I think it was really funny to see how, you have the original cut in the beginning, and they had like an actual like professional film crew for that, and then they
Right.
had the acting film crew for the last half of the movie.
I feel like they were just like, let's see how many crews we can get to help us with this, and they're like, you're gonna be in a movie.
Yeah.
And got them all together to do
It's
it.
like, you acted before, right? Once? Yeah, a little walk-on role? Okay, well,
Yeah.
get ready.
Totally what I was not expecting. You guys were correct when you're like, you're not going to expect what's happening afterwards. I didn't expect them to go back and then tell the whole story about how it was made, and then to have like the family who's involved, the director, his daughter, and his wife, all be really wholesome and believable. I was like, are you guys an actual family?
Yeah.
Like, in this movie? Because it seemed very real.
Like the daughter is like an edgy, like
I love the t-shirts.
amateur
Oh,
filmmaker.
The Scarface t-shirt, the
The
fucking
Shining.
Shining.
I think that's the only time that crying wasn't actually funny in this movie is when the dad's crying because he's like sad that him and his
Oh
daughter
my
don't have the
God,
same connection
yeah.
they used to. The fact that they even like just had that in there in the first place it just warmed my soul because the resolution at the end is really good.
Yeah. They came full circle.
Yeah.
Aw.
Also, the music in this fucking film.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
God,
Bro,
it's
like-
spot
I want to know
on.
who did the music for this. They picked like the summer bop hit for some of these
Just like
fucking filler
just the
songs.
feel good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, 'cause the whole first movie is very, like, your typical horror movie soundtrack. It's got, like, creepy keyboards in it, and,
Right.
like, weird little
Yeah.
lower tones and things.
Impacts and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get to, like, this part where it's, like, fucking summer vacation time. Fucking, I don't know. Like, we're
Cue
getting...
guitar riff.
Yeah, exactly.
Woo.
And you're gonna hear this guitar riff like 5 times in the film.
They even went as far as to change like the way the camera looked, as far as maybe like frames per second and the lighting and everything, so that it looked more upbeat than when they were actually supposed to be scarier and it was darker and you had all of the like specific sounds and noises going on. So they paid a lot of attention to detail when they were changing through the levels of what you were watching. The part where they're going through the actors being how they are normally is hilarious to see them like on set where you have someone who thinks he's like the shit. And then he like yells at him on set. And he's like, "You little shit." He's like, "Why are you gonna fucking talk to me like that on the set?" He's like, "Do what you're fucking supposed to do." Was
Yeah.
hilarious to me because I was like, there's always that one dude who thinks he's like the best thing ever to happen on set.
It was funny to see that because like I think one of the minor characters says you're playing a director as a director, and he's like, yeah, and it's like my dad used to do acting in like school. Sometimes he gets carried away.
I was in the drama
and he's
club.
like, you fucking, you're on my set, you little brat, and
I
just
love
like
that.
slaps him in the face.
It's great.
It's just like you could feel the emotion. The mom though.
who just
Pump!
who just
Pump!
I love that because it's supposed to be an improv moment for them, and then she's just like, yeah, I was learning self-defense classes, and I learned this move. And then they did a fake like martial arts like self-defense class that they showed you, which had to have been filmed for this movie. And they just show you all of it, so you just get all these different layers of, oh yeah, she learned it on her own. It was an improvised moment. They actually brought it into the movie, and then she does it to escape them later when she's going nuts and is like dropping into her character and can't like go back to normal reality. It's so many layers of great comedy on top of each other, and then it's a really good piece of satire. Like it actually gets at the idea of how serious people take the horror film industry, and that it actually ends up being kind of funny most of the time. I bet they'd laugh a lot on set for these movies.
I mean, it just looks like it was a lot of fun to film in the first place. Like, like everyone's all together, getting everything done. People are like trying like their damnedest to get stuff
fucking rolling across the screen.
Yeah, because that's like, I mean, that's the big challenge here that they pose to this director is you're going to direct a 30-minute it's live.
Yeah,
everyone's watching you while
stop.
You do this, and you have to do it continuously. That's already a challenge.
And I believe he says like, this is a joke, right? Like, you're not being
nobody
serious.
does this shit.
No one could do this. And the thing is, he's kind of like a lower end kind of director. He's like, yeah, fast, cheap, efficient,
Yeah.
So when he gets into the role of like playing an actor and like, okay, we need to make the film fine.
Yeah.
There's a part where they break the crane.
Oh my
and
god.
they need to fix it. And he's like, fuck it, we won't use the crane system. And he's like, no, this is my film. Like, let me finish this. He's like, you're for TV. That's like movie stuff. Like, you're stay in line.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And he's just like, Mao takes the reins. Is like, no, we need to finish this right. And it's really cool because you see like, I bet being like related to a director probably makes you look at film a little bit differently. Say if you weren't brought up with that. So to see her like say, no, don't use fake tears and stuff. I want the real deal. And there's that whole, this broad kind of thing with the mother.
Oh yeah.
That makes me think about everybody who's involved with the Coppola family.
Yeah, exactly.
How literally like everyone in the Coppola family has touched film in one way or another because they saw their whole family getting involved.
Wait, side note, didn't she say that Nicolas Cage is a
Yeah.
Coppola?
So I for some reason just never thought that of course he's using a stage name and like chose his name. So when I was looking up Nicolas Cage, I was like, oh, he's actually a Coppola. He's like one of the cousins to Sofia Coppola.
What?
Yeah, and I was like,
blowing my mind.
And I was
right
like,
now.
wait, what? I was like, he's not even that far off in the branch. Like, he's like literally her first cousin. So,
do you know how much like more respect he would have if he had that last name attached?
well, he noted that he didn't want to use the name because he felt like people would not take him as seriously. Like they would just kind of like grandfather him into it, like how they've been doing with like the daughter and the granddaughter. Although I have to say, Sofia Coppola and the granddaughter, I'm forgetting her name right now, Gia Coppola, have all done their own work in their own right, and they wanted to use that name. So it's like, but there are a bunch of other people who just use the name to kind of get into the filming industry.
Damn, I'm kind of sad now that I didn't know that
it's
his name
crazy,
is actually
right?
Nick Cage.
I didn't know that either. I was looking it up and I was like, wait, let me look at this family tree, which is huge. By the way, there's a lot of people in the Coppola family, and I was just like, oh shit, he's like literally right over here. He's one of the first cousins.
Well, it's very interesting because you have that dynamic. Like, if your dad made this amazing film, how do you live up to that? And then like on the other spectrum, there's like this dead end kind of director, just films whatever kind of shit. And it's like, oh, it's just one of his scripts, whatever. But then like Mal finds out that her favorite like star idol is in this, and she's like reading the shit out of it. Like it cuts to like the entire book like already read.
Yeah.
Because she's so obsessed with this cute boy.
Surprised that cute boy is an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Not surprised.
Little
Smacked
spoiled
around.
brat.
I love when the mom like whoops his ass and he's like, your mom's amazing, right?
Yeah, because he rolls up and he's like, you hit me. No one does that. My own father didn't even do that.
Yeah.
And then here comes mom just to smack him around again.
Get to your role.
Yes.
You got shit to do, kid.
And then right after that, like the father is like very concerned because he knows that his wife could go out of hand with her acting. And he's like, "Are you good?" She's like, "I'm calm. I'm dead calm."
Uses the same
line that she uses in the film, and it's just when she has that blood splattered on her face. Calm down. I'm calm. I'm dead calm. You're like, "Ooh," you feel it.
Was not expecting to get to the end of this film and actually like get close to crying. What is this wholesomeness that's happening at the end here?
It's because you go through this journey of all this shit happening. When it finally resolves,
Success.
You're like, yeah, that was sick.
There's a great view of how you feel when you finish a film, the success you feel when it's completed, and all you got to do is well, actually in their case they didn't have to edit it together because it's already released. But
It's
usually
a one cut.
yeah. Oh right, it's literally one cut of the dead. So you have to put it all together and it comes out great. That's a good feeling.
Man, I mean, there is also that part where this chick, she's the backup camera operator, and she is just like, "Hey, is your back feeling good? Maybe I could grab the camera for a little." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And then he finally has the fall.
Yeah.
And like, there's that kind of moment where she's like, "Fuck it, I need to grab it."
There's got to be so many unscripted falls in this because some of them looked pretty real, where they probably just tripped and kept it going and like fell right on their face.
Yeah, I mean, she falls after handing him the rag so he could wipe the fucking thing.
It's great.
When the first time I saw it, when he cleaned like the breaking the fourth wall and cleaning the camera, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't sold,
you're
but
not
now
sure
I'm
what
like,
you're
ooh.
watching up until then. You're kind of like, oh, this is weird, and then it becomes so much better when they start adding the layers of, oh, they were actually making a movie, and then they show you how they made a movie inside of a movie, which is even funnier to me.
And then there's the behind the scenes of how they made the movie that makes the movie.
Right.
That makes the movie.
So many people that they had on set with cameras. I don't know how cameras didn't get broken during the filming of this with them running around so much and handing it to someone else.
I think they did, because one of them was having issues. I can't imagine it getting jostled around and mess up some of their equipment.
I will give props to the blood effects in this too. The blood looks very convincing.
Yeah, holy shit.
And like I love seeing the tube,
I was
man.
about to say, can we give props to the guy that does the blood splatters?
Yeah.
Literally just sucks it up into a tube, turns it upwards, and then just blows out whatever's in the plastic tube and right into her face. And she has to like keep going with blood, like fake blood getting in her eyes and her mouth.
I bet that's an effect that's used often in like, lower budget films.
Yeah,
and I just wonder,
always.
does that blood ever get up your mouth when you gotta like suck
I'm
it into
sure.
the little tube?
Yeah.
It
Oh
has
yeah,
to.
totally.
And here's the thing. When we saw that spit from the drunk guy the first time, we're like, oh, fuck. And it's fucking real spit, man. No props there.
That wasn't spit; those were chunks.
Yeah,
man.
it was chunky.
His oatmeal came back to say hi.
That's hilarious. Wow, such a convincing drunk. No, he was actually drunk.
Yeah, he's not actually an actor. We just gave him a lot of sake right before this, and
my
he was good to
God.
go.
I do enjoy the small little take they had of the empty bottle, and you'd be like, oh, he drank all of it.
Yeah,
That's
that was
why
all him.
He's so drunk.
And him like joking about, I haven't been able to see my kid. Last time I was supposed to visit her, I was too drunk when I showed up, and then now they won't let me see her.
Starts
Dang.
crying
The
in his
most
chair.
depressing thing.
Holy shit.
That actually was pretty sad.
Yeah.
Like these
A
are the kind
great
of
piece
people
of
that
dark
get into
humor.
films.
It's making me think that this entire like horror films are notoriously dark
Right.
things. They are dark subject matter, as is that conversation. As is like the deal, like the director dealing with like the lack of like contact with his own daughter sort of idea, where he feels more separated from her. So I think that a big thing to take away from this is that people bond over darkness. They bond over misery and things like that. And that's a big takeaway from this movie, now that I'm thinking about it a little more.
And that just makes the successes even higher.
Yeah, for him too. They had the multiple layers of being a director who's trying to be successful, on top of him wanting to have a closer relationship with his own family, with his daughter, who's also interested in directing and writing as well, who has a different method too.
And she loves horror movies also.
And she also loves horror movies. So you have a lot going on there as far as story. A lot of like really meaty stuff for it being so short. As like you actually have a lot of character development for what they're doing, which is surprising considering how short it is and what they like, because their character development only happened in like half of the movie.
Yeah,
I'd say probably the second act when they like finally get the script out and they're talking about it.
Otherwise, you just had the regular story that they created for their like 30-minute slot on TV, which is also a good short.
It's funny too because they have like these higher ups who work at the TV station. They're just like,
great.
look at this.
They
She's a natural actor. And after they
So
put the
funny.
fucking tears on her and everything.
What a great joke on the companies that want you to do this shit and they sit back and don't do anything. Like they're just sitting there like, okay, yeah, you got it. You can get it done, right?
Big comment on that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke about it already, but the director's saying like, oh, what you're trying to do is what movies do. This is a TV show. Therefore, he should take his art less seriously. Like, I don't understand.
I
what?
felt the pain in that director's
Yeah,
heart
holy
right
shit.
there. Like, nah, you're small time shit. This isn't big time shit. Stay
Yeah,
in
they
your
want
lane.
to cut out some important part of the script because he even says he's like, no, this is gonna like wrap up the story. This is what I need to show, and they're like, no, you just cut it, and nobody will notice.
We felt that.
as fans of many different types of media,
Right.
we fucking notice.
Yeah, for real. This is great though. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I think it deserves its rating. Really,
100%,
like
yeah.
100% is definitely worth it. To go
There's
watch
no
it.
movie like this.
No, not that I can think
Yeah.
of off the top of my head. Like that.
Not one that
you
pulled
see
it off the way this
Yeah.
movie did either.
So it's really good, and it's kind of like a hidden gem. Like I really
Yeah.
didn't know about this movie, and a lot of people probably don't know about it, even though it has such a good rating.
Yeah, this was like the first time I ever got recommended it, and it was
Plus,
from a
lot
friend.
Yeah, a lot of people don't watch Shudder either. Like it's
Yeah.
not a hugely popular service, but like if you go on there, you can watch a lot of weird horror films.
I think it should be because that's like
Yeah.
one of those bastions you're gonna find your like lower budget horror movies
Right.
that are coming out. The stuff that's it's not being advertised to you constantly. So
Yeah, you trying to see Critters 5?
Oh
There
my
you
god,
go, yeah.
I forgot about that series. Holy shit, we should actually do one of those
yeah.
movies.
But, I mean, this is just an example of a hidden gem
Yeah,
in like a source that's not as commonly used.
yeah, that's true. It could also be that the director just wasn't really well known, so no one really spread it around. Didn't have the same distribution as you see usually on some of these. What year did this come out again?
2017.
Oh, okay. I was like, what was happening in 2017?
That's what I'm
For film.
trying to think.
'Cause I don't think
I'm pretty sure, wasn't that like the Avengers? Ooh, like Infinity War and shit?
I don't know.
I feel like that was like 2015, 2016.
I have no sense of time
Infinity
anymore
War?
because of COVID.
Yeah, fuck.
I've been inside too long for a whole year.
Maybe not.
It's kind of wild that we've been doing the podcast while COVID's been happening. It's like, oh, we have to go outside now? I don't want to go outside. I got to go back to a dirty-ass theater. Like, I don't know about those sticky floors anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah, can I just watch it live from TV?
Yeah, just keep putting it up so we can download it. HBO exclusives.
Infinity War came out a year after this movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, the quality of film has been going down, but it's starting to go back up again, which is kind of cool. Hopefully,
Now we have some new topics to make movies about.
yeah, people are getting all sorts of new ideas. So
Yeah, with
hopefully, a
the-
renaissance will come after the plague.
Yeah, the plague, the crazy political climate, that
Yeah.
literal climate change, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this with COVID, what you're gonna see is I think we've talked about this before, but you're gonna see like a hollowing out of like specific industries and entertainment and stuff like that,
Oh,
because there's
man.
people that aren't
Yeah.
able to keep up with it, and they found a new avenue to go down. So this is both a curse and a boon, because
Right.
we will lose people who are very talented, and then you will also be gaining new blood who's willing to express new ideas, hopefully, and bring them into the foray. That is, if Hollywood gives a shit about that, which they don't.
Ah,
But
yes.
we can hope.
A fresh
Also,
blood
a
sacrifice
lot of those-
to Hollywood.
Blood for
Yeah,
the blood god.
Right, yes. I love that.
Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne.
I love that. That makes me think of the 40K books I was listening to, the audiobooks.
Well,
Get out of here with your nerd shit.
They're just so ridiculous because you hear like all the jargon from the 40K universe that you don't understand.
Look,
Anyway, as
it's
far
so
as the Hollywood
cute.
guys go, a lot of those fuckers are gonna die soon because they're all old as shit.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and die and let someone else take
they're
over.
not gonna die. They're immortal. We all know they're drinking
Right,
baby
yeah.
blood.
Not
That's
if
how
they
they
don't
stay
stop eating
alive
children.
for
You
so
don't die
long.
after blood sacrifice.
Yeah, that's why they do the fresh blood sacrifices.
Oh man!
Well-
So that's what they do in those studios.
Yeah.
And that was like the main part of the movie too. Like they took the blood on top of this fucking roof. And I
It was a
guess-
satanic
yeah.
ritual, which is kind
Yeah.
of wild. They definitely played that down. I was like, oh, this is like, have you seen VHS, the second part,
Yeah,
where it's straight up just like a demonic ritual?
that is probably the best like
This is-
snippet from
yeah.
that movie. VHS 2, the
God, it's
the
the most
cult.
unnerving shit watching that.
That makes me think that's something they kind of glossed over because the place in the lore for the original movie was that the military was doing human experiments,
Yeah.
but were they actually doing ritual sacrifices?
Oh yeah,
Well,
the government was doing
there's, like-
blood rituals.
Yeah, there
Oh
was
my
that
God.
throwaway line where it's like the director wants all the blood on the roof.
Yeah, so he knew about the ritual.
Yeah,
Which
he was
is-
reading on the web, not the internet, the web.
Ah, yes.
I love
the
when they refer to the
web.
web. It makes me think of those old school pages you would see where it has like 4 big buttons you can click. And it's like you would click on one and then you'd wait like 10 minutes for it to load as it like does it line by line. That's what it makes me think of when they're like, yes, I got it on the web.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing about like the main like 30-minute, 45-minute cut is that like I kind of wish they would explain a little bit more on the satanic thing, like how these undead are brought back. But that's the only like slight gripe I have with it. But I wanted to know, what were some of your favorite scenes from this movie?
Oh, I know. I like when the mic man was crying and shitting while getting his makeup done. That was such a mood. I can relate completely.
Oh my God.
And I loved it.
The poor dude was trying to sneak away to take a shit, and he was like, "Where are you going?" He was like,
I know,
I'll be right back.
It's
Just-
hilarious because the director was just so into his role and so into the improvisation of it. He was like, "No, you won't escape from me." It's like, bro, I got a shit.
And it's funny because you hear him scream off screen.
yeah.
And it's not even him getting attacked, quote unquote, by zombies. He's just trying to get people off him so he
Oh
can
my
hit the fucking
God.
restroom.
So you just go take a
Nah,
shit.
you just need to squat somewhere. There's no
So
restrooms
funny.
at that point.
Yeah. He's like, go means go.
Also,
You know what's,
it's-
wait, I have one more thing.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Because he went from shitting to makeup straight into his role. He probably didn't even have time to wipe.
yeah, he didn't. Well, he had he was holding toilet paper, so
They
he
did hand him a roll.
So they did
I don't
hand
know
him
if
a
that
roll.
was an efficient
We have
wipe
to
given
assume
the
he
time,
wiped, but probably not
because
very
he
well.
probably dropped a major load. So he was just running there with poopy pants.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Oh my God.
no.
I mean, and then the director's also holding him,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
like starts going like right after that because he's
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God.
like that relief, and you're like, no,
Oh, poor guy.
no. I think first off, just a side note: the person with the bucket squirting blood everywhere. That's
Yes.
golden.
Hilarious.
I want that job.
Yeah, that's like how do I get paid to do that? I have to just squirt shit.
You just got to be a production assistant. Just,
There you go.
just
Yeah,
find
just
your way
go-
onto sets and be like, I'll just do whatever you guys need me to, and then
Yeah.
you'll get that job.
There you go. Cool. Yeah. My favorite scene though is at the very end of the movie because the crane for the camera has broken, and that's
Yeah.
one of the big sad parts. So what do? They get all of the zombies and a bunch of the crew to make a human pyramid on top of
Love it.
with the director's daughter. With the director on top and his daughter on his shoulders,
Yes.
just like the picture he was crying over when
Yes.
she was a little kid, and she's holding the big camera that gets that last shot, and
That's,
then they
some
all like fall
great
down, and that's like the
character
end of the
development.
movie. And
It was the power of friendship all
I'm
along.
shivering right now for how amazing this part is. I'm like getting shakes and chills, like it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
This
that's
is the feel-good movie of the year.
Oh my God.
That's the
yeah.
thing too. They have that shot where she finds like her dad's copy of the script, and she opens it and she sees that picture of the fucking.
Oh right.
And she's like, "We got to do the crane right. Fuck this producer guy. You know.
Yeah.
Fuck this
starts-
higher up."
Starts shaking him. She's like, "We'll make a decision. We're gonna do it this way."
Yeah. I love how she took control over that situation.
trying to think of
She's like slapping, throwing hats off of people. Be like, lady, fucking do this right here, you know?
I mean, to be honest, the show wouldn't have gone on without her because they wanted to pull the plug like halfway through because shit was going crazy.
Yeah,
And
that
she
would have
was
been
like,
whack
no,
if they ended
they're
that.
they're just gonna jump to this line and then we can go straight to this line. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Making the thing work. Good
Hey,
for
I
her.
actually read the content. I know where we could fix this, you know?
I liked the moment when he comes home and realizes that his daughter's really into the script and like has the most dad moment ever. Like, in a
with his
movie.
hands on his hips?
His hands on his hip. He like does a full twist, like turning to his wife to be like, "Oh, you know, she's reading my script. Like, was she interested in?" I was like, "This is great. This is such a good dad moment." Because I'm like, this is like beyond the really good acting of just like you're so believable right now in this moment. Like, you have to be an actual father for this to have worked well.
Personally, for me, my favorite part is when they do the decapitation scene directly into the transition with the car.
Right.
And you see like the chick who was the backup camera person fucking hand the
Oh my god.
hand the wiper to the guy, and he falls, and she just has that moment where she's like, I need to take this camera.
Yeah.
And she grabs it and she's like, what if the zoom in? What if we did that on the zombie's face? He's like, that's tacky. And
There was a
cheesy.
great moment earlier where like you said, where she's trying to tell the actor, yo, you should do some zoom ins. He's like, no, why would we do that? It's so tacky. And then she's like, I got my opportunity, and fucking does it on screen.
I like how the camera recording her recording cuts to her just like zooming the lens in and
Yeah,
out.
like
Yeah.
super hard, dude.
like a big old smile on her face.
You know she was stoked.
Yeah, shit, I would be stoked. Be like, you like my zooms? Well, get your zooms now.
Yeah, she was like, I mean, they were like, yeah, that's really tacky, and she's like, yeah,
Tacky
yeah,
is cool though.
Yeah, that's cool. What the fuck? Like, yeah, dipshit. Like, what the fuck?
Why are you such an asshole?
Mal has that part. She's like, oh my God, who's zooming? Who's ranting the camera? This is so good. Like, this is so cool. That was my favorite part. Just, she gets her moment and she fucking rocks it.
That's true. That's true. I enjoy that a lot.
Okay, so for the 100th episode, for One Cut of the Dead, what do you guys rate this movie?
The rare and coveted 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10,
Great.
perfect.
10
across
over
the
here.
board.
10s across the
Which
board.
makes
For the
sense.
100th
yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Well, we've only had, I don't know, like 3 movies out of these 100 that all got 10s from us. Like, I think it was what?
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block, this one, and then one other one. I want to say it was The Lighthouse, but it
Yeah.
might have been some. It might
I
have
don't
been
know if
another one.
Lighthouse got all 10s. Did it?
What was the other one? There was one more at least.
There's been a couple that almost got
Yeah,
all
they got like
10s.
9s, like 9.5s. But I feel like either that one or a Parasite was one of the ones that got like
Oh,
a really good
yeah.
score
Parasite was really
from
high
all
up
of us.
there.
So yeah, it's like so good, and it's a great choice for the 100th episode to have a parody of the horror films because people take them a little too seriously sometimes.
True.
Or
And,
not serious at all. And this is
yeah.
that happy in between.
Yeah, this is a great horror comedy that works really well on like a weird meta level. It isn't like the genre horror comedy that you see. This is actually like them making it, and you got to see all the production behind the scenes and stuff.
It's like almost like a mockery of just not only
Right.
horror movies but the making of them too. And like I said earlier in the episode, like I think that this really like shows a lot of like what film crews go through to make something even this low budget happen.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, and I think people forget that when it comes to making movies.
$25K for a movie this long is actually like very, very low.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely.
That is just like your equipment, paying for like getting everyone there, and then their wages, and that's probably it. Like that is the bare minimum of what you could pay
Very
people.
minimal post production.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this case, they had a whole 45 minutes. They didn't really need to edit.
That's true, actually. If they were gonna do
Yeah.
that single cut, they're like, we just got to get it right that
Yeah.
first time through, and then roll with whatever they got.
So technically, probably just they really needed to make that 45 minutes. And the fact that they got so much character development in 45 minutes is appalling to me.
Yeah, I was not bothered at all by the quality of what you were watching, which is interesting because that usually might break a lot of these kind of films, because the camera movement was so good and the acting was really good, because you had like different like modes of acting where they were like pretending to be very serious in the movie and then being funny on the side of it, and then actually showing them making it was just, so they had to do a lot of different things to make it work, and that's what made it work well.
There's meta camera work, there's meta directing, and there's meta acting.
Yeah, so good camera work from whoever was holding it. And it was shaky, but not like so shaky you get sick from watching it, like when you watched
What, Cloverfield?
Yeah, fucking you knew exactly what I was talking about. Cloverfield made me like feel like I was gonna vomit when I was watching that movie. But yeah, you don't get the same feeling here, which is cool.
We can assure you've never seen a movie like this.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. That's like
there is no movie
unique.
like this one.
There's only one cut of the dead.
There's only one
Dang.
cut of the dead. If you want other movies that do like single cuts like that go through, but they're not necessarily in the horror genre, like Birdman does that.
Yeah.
Does like a single cut, but
A lot of editing to make that one work.
For Birdman?
Birdman, yeah.
Well, yeah, because Birdman, they did invisible cuts when they were doing it.
Gotcha.
So they had to figure out moments where they could cut it and make it look like it wasn't cut. So like when you're passing through a door frame, when you're going in and out of a car, things like that, they'll do cuts there, which is a great way to make your story like consecutive. So you're like, oh, this is literally an hour and a half of their life.
And you get that same effect you're going for,
exactly.
which is like that single cut look.
I'm trying to think of what is like the longest real cut in film ever, and I think this one will probably be very far up there for how long it is. I think the closest that any other one came was like a 10 to 15 minute, which is nonstop. There's way more people though.
Yeah.
You're like going through like a city and whatnot.
And I do know that Atomic Blonde has an 11-minute one-shot fight scene in a hotel.
So good.
Yeah.
Atomic Blonde is surprisingly good for what it is. Like 80s era spy film with Charlize Theron. That's really good. Anyway, random like a bit of film.
This sounds great. Where is this? I want to watch this.
It's fucking
good, man.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh God. No, I'm trying to think of what the hell it was even about. Anyway, go find it. It's worth the watch. Atomic Blonde.
If you want to watch One Cut of the Dead, check out Shudder.
Yeah,
because it's on there. It's streaming
it's a
on there.
Shudder exclusive.
They also have DVDs of this, and I just found out they have crew shirts as well.
Are you
Sick.
saying we can buy One Cut of the Dead crew
like,
shirts?
oh shit.
But
Like I can rep this movie.
I will say this though: if you're ordering the T-shirts, make sure to buy 2 sizes larger than your normal, because Japanese people have smaller frames than Americans.
They're tiny. Oh, that's funny. Also very true, actually.
But yeah, check out One Cut of the Dead. It was really good, and fucking 100th fucking episode. Jesus.
100th episode.
Holy
We
shit.
did it.
That's
We did it.
wild.
We did it.
Yeah.
So I guess now would be a good time to do the outro. huh?
Right. Also, one of these rare moments where I'm like, go actually buy the DVD and give them some money instead of downloading it.
So many memories with this podcast, from different cast members to just me and John sitting in his apartment.
Yeah, literally, we're like, we're gonna make this happen, and then it went literally from nothing to a full-fledged podcast in like 3 days.
Yeah, there you go.
And it just got put up on him ever since. We didn't stop. It's been going for over a year.
Oh, look at this
Kinda
This
nostalgia.
is wholesome.
Yeah.
And I'm still not making money. No.
But if you want to find out how to make us money,
Yeah, if you want to
That's a
support
great
us.
segue.
come
Yes.
come check us out
Where
on
the
our
fuck are the sponsors are supposed to message me? You motherfuckers.
Yeah, we said sponsors like
Yeah.
40
What
episodes
the
ago.
hell? Sons of bitches. Just send me your stupid toothpaste so I can
Yeah.
tell people how great it is.
Oh my God.
Well, if you do want to actually give us money, coin, currency, Dogecoin, Bitcoin,
Gil,
Ethereum,
Ethereum.
gold points, copper
Dog.
points, silver points, platinum points.
Some
What's
GameStop
Electra?
stocks.
what's the currency in Genshin Impact?
Webkins,
Oh.
Webkins coins,
Webkin coins,
some Mora,
Yes, some
some
more.
Euro dollars.
reserve list magic cards.
Yeah.
reserve list magic cards.
Exactly.
Then support us on our Patreon.
Hell
We have
yeah.
a Patreon up where you could spend $2 a month to recommend a film or a piece of horror media for us to
Right.
review. This was, like I said, a quote-unquote patron episode by our friend Isaac. Thank you, Isaac, for the recommendation. This was a beast of a fucking movie.
Yeah. Hell yes.
Um,
It is
Love
hard.
you, baby.
It's hard to get a 10 out of 10 from all of us on
Yeah.
something. So really good choice.
Yeah, for this one we were pretty
yeah,
aligned. Yeah.
we
A
knew.
lie.
It was unanimous.
we were aligned
Unanimous.
on this one.
We read the vibe, and we were like, yeah.
We read the vibe.
But also, you can check out our Teespring where we have T-shirts and hats. That also helps
Yeah.
us out a lot with the podcast. You can check us out on all the streaming services, including Spotify and Apple Podcast. Also, check out our social medias that we have. We have Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams.
Yeah, there should be a schedule that's up already where it'll talk about the movies that are coming out.
Yeah, the schedule is up, and you can check it out. We have a lot of stuff coming
Working
forward.
hard.
We've been working hard, getting content made, and it will be out within the following weeks. So thank you for your continued support, and thank you for 100 episodes.
Yeah. 100.
100.
Woo.
I can put this on a resume and be like, yo, you know what I've been doing for the last year and a half?
Wait.
100
What
episodes.
I made 100 episodes of
Boom.
bullshit.
Complete and utter nonsense. Here
Okay.
we go.
Before we do the outro, can we just get a group palm?
1, 2, 3.
Boom! I'm Mitch.
I'm Murr.
I'm Justine.
And I'm Jonathan. Thank you.